Stats shows 95% of traders out there lose money. Unlike what most people think, it is not because of your strategy. It is much simpler than that. In this video, I'm going to show you the secret that made me become the 5% of traders out there that actually makes money. So to become a profitable trader, there's two parts to it. The first part, it is option fundamentals. You need to know your basics before you can even get good. The second part to being a profitable trader is your mindset and psychology. But this is something that I noticed that's not discussed a lot online. I think it's because it's more on the boring side of things, unlike strategy. And also, mainly, I think it doesn't get a lot of views because it is not as interesting. However, it is the most important thing. I repeat, most important thing in trading. So I would spend about 80% of your time focusing on your mindset and maybe only 20% of your time on your strategy. One thing that I noticed is most people have a wonderful strategy that they can make a lot of money from. But it is the bad habits that punishes them, that wipes them out. One trade can wipe them out or maybe wipe out a few months of gains. Imagine this. Think about your last biggest loss. If you didn't take that loss, you're probably very profitable by now. So the fact that by eliminating our mistakes will push us into the green P&L zone. And that alone will push us from the 95% of losers out there into the 5%. Simply put, just don't do what the losers do and you will become successful in trading. Now, I plan to share how I discovered my secret by accident through a story of mine. When I first started trading, there's 4 of us in this group. One of our friend is a very smart guy, top in school, a gifted student throughout school, but he just sucked at trading. Anything he touches always loses money. When he buys a stock, it will go down. When he shorts a stock, it will pump up, gap up. He never wins. And worst of all, when he stops out, the market often reverses. So the 3 of us, the other 3 friends, we do the exact opposite of what this friend does. And we make a lot of money. I'm sure you guys probably know some family member or some friend like that. Or maybe you're one yourself. Although this strategy of doing the opposite of what he does is extremely efficient, I was very realistic and I know someday he's going to quit trading if this continues. So I decided to help him out and formally coached him. First of all, he's also a friend. I do want him to succeed. So through the coaching call with him, I discovered a bunch of bad habits that he does when he trades. Going from there, I also coach a lot of family and clients online too. And from dozens of coaching sessions, I've found very similar trading bad behaviors and practices. I consolidated all those practices into a list of 10 items. These 10 items I actually posted right on my wall right there because it helps to remind me of what losers do and what not to do for myself. I always remind myself, as long as I don't follow that list, I'm going to be the top 5% of traders. That is the secret. Now, let me go through that list so you guys can avoid these top 10 problematic behaviors of losers. 1, they don't use stop losses. 2, they double down on losers. 3, they are impatient. They would put on trades because they simply don't have enough trades or they feel like they have to do at least something every day. 4, they get greedy. Greed comes in many forms, risking way too much, or they don't take profits when they are there. 5, they trade way too big. Their sizing is too big and they risk way too much per trade. 6, they freeze up when the trade goes against them. They don't know what to do. 7, even when they have a stop loss, they don't follow it and they don't respect it. 8, they're very reactive. They like catching falling knives when it gaps down, or they like entering trades and feel FOMO when stock gaps up. 9, they don't have a trading plan. Mainly, this is critical because often many of the loser traders don't even have an exit plan, both when they lose and when they win. 10, they use hope as a strategy. That is not a strategy. Often people have a stop loss, but they might remove the stop loss when it gets hit. They think, hey, tomorrow it might revert. This is a support zone. It must bounce. Now, I want you guys to pause this video and actually take some time to think about how many of these items affects you. And also, I want you guys to take a piece of paper and write down how much you lost because of each item. I'm gonna give you a few seconds. Continue the video when you're ready. Okay, now look at your numbers, and do you think your P&L will be green if you didn't have these losses? Do you think you can avoid and not do any of these trading behaviors going forward? I'm sure you guys can. I want you guys to remember these 10 items and write it down, post it on your wall, and remind yourself, if I don't do these items, I will be profitable. I will not be a trading loser. If I don't do these items, I will become one of the top 5% of traders. This is the secret, and I discovered it accidentally when I was coaching my friend. That took me a couple years. I hope I've given you guys enough information to become the top 5% of traders in the shortest amount of time possible, because this took me a few years, and it doesn't have to be that way. Trade small, trade safe.